Hi guys, here it is, nice and quick, part two of our Jamaica special.
The best time to travel to Jamaica is all year round because it's the same temperature all year round, 25 to 30 degrees on average, every day, all day. All right. However, yes, there is a hurricane season, but that is half the year. But rain has never stopped anybody from visiting London, so a hurricane should not be a reason for you not to visit Jamaica. With no major hurricanes since 1988, I would say because the hurricane season is from July to November, which is basically half the year, you should still go. You shouldn't let the potential of a hurricane stop you from traveling to Jamaica. But the most expensive time to travel to Jamaica is going to be from December to March, because that is winter here, where it's cold and somewhat not as beautiful as it is today. But so that becomes the most expensive time to travel to Jamaica. Summer is the most popular time because the kids are out of school, and then the rest of the season or the rest of the year is where you can find good deals and lower occupancies. So the resorts aren't as full during those periods.
Awesome, cool. So back onto food and things now. You've said that there were some food things to try. What's the specific dishes that they really need to kind of try, and what kind of sets it apart? So there's all different types, isn't there, depending where you're going to go in?
Correct. So Jamaica is a melting pot. Our motto is out of many, one people. And because out of many, one people, there are certain things that our cuisine is just influenced by a bunch of different people. For example, one of the less popular options that people don't talk about as much, but is very popular within the diaspora, and very popular with Jamaicans returning home, is an escovitch fried fish. So in Jamaica, we eat whole fish. We're an island. Fish and seafood are very popular options for us. So escovitch is a pickled vinegar. Well, a pickled condiment. Condiment is the right word. Pickled condiment made with Scotch bonnet peppers, onions, carrots, pimento seeds, or allspice seeds, as you guys call them. And it's a very spicy condiment. And you pour that over your fried fish. That's the absolute best thing to try if you're into eating whole fish. Obviously, there are other things like oxtail, which is very popular in culture here. Braised oxtail, curried goat, stew peas. Those are popular local options. So if you ask anybody who is a part of the Caribbean community, they'll also recommend those options. But more popular amongst not just locals, but people visiting the island, are things like jerk chicken and jerk pork. And my personal preference is to go jerk pork before going to jerk chicken, because pork is such a flavorful meat. So for all the people who don't eat pork, I'm very sorry. Jerk chicken is just as good, but pork just has a whole different flavor profile that makes it so much better for me. So try jerk chicken, jerk pork at local options like Scotch's, Jerk Pit, and stuff like that. There's always a jerk center somewhere around. So those are options to try, but most popular are also our Jamaican patties, or Jamaican meat patties, which are like empanadas. It's a pastry with meat folded in, but it can have any other type of filling. It can have a vegetarian filling. It could have a pescatarian filling. It could have their fillings from cheese and beef to beef, chicken, soy, vegetables, shrimp, and ackee. So those are all the different options. Jamaican patties are something that are quite popular. You can buy them, freeze them, put them in your check piece, and take them back to the UK if you want as well. So those are really popular food options. And as I said, the vegan and vegetarian culture is something that is quite accessible in Jamaica. And so there are lots of options for you, beyond a salad, that you can try when visiting Jamaica as well.
Yeah, you are really making me hungry talking about all those now. You bring them to life
Oh,
brilliantly. You're brilliant.
I'm just saying, man, listen, food is my favorite thing.
So we're kind of jumping all over the place here, but I kind of quite like it because you're just kind of going where it goes. So if
Sure.
somebody's got like 7 days, only 7 days, first time they
Mm-hmm.
go onto the island, what's the
Mm-hmm.
top must things that they have to do or must do things?
When I do which you as an agent are welcome to join in on. Fam trips, which are educational. So for your listeners that are trying to to get what I'm talking about, I have 7 days to show you the essence of Jamaica. So when I say 7 days, my suggestion would be to go to the furthest point or one of the furthest points that you can go to first to experience as much as you can. So let's do an Ocho Rios Montego Bay itinerary. So we go to Ocho Rios, we experience Duns River Falls, which is 600 feet of cascading water that pours out right into the ocean. It's an absolutely exhilarating experience to climb a waterfall. You can't climb this one in the same way, but there are sections of Blue Hole that you can climb and then dive off into as well. But Duns River, absolutely iconic experience in Jamaica. Everybody who is with, I would say, below 70 would know the film Cool Runnings, which spoke about Jamaica's bobsled team. So go and try bobsledding yourself in Jamaica. It's not done in the exact same way, but the Mystic Mountain experience takes you 600 meters feet, above sea level, giving you wonderful views of the Ocho Rios area. You can do that, and then you guys call it a toboggan here. I'm also trying to learn. A toboggan. You get to go down in the bobsled, and you get to go down. You get to experience that on a monorail, the ragamuffin experience. So you do those things in Ocho Rios to kind of get the iconic Ocho Rios experiences. You move over to Scotch's Jerk to have jerk chicken or jerk pork there, depending on what type of person you are. If you are into seeking the natural mystic, weed or marijuana has been decriminalized in Jamaica, and our first coffee house or coffee shop was right there in Ocho Rios. It's called Kaya. So if you go there, you get the munchies, you can move right over to Scotch's right after and solve that issue. It's a one-stop shop. So you do that in Ocho Rios. Head towards Montego Bay. Make sure you do that towards the evening. Okay, well, there's a lot to cram into this one day. But you get to do the Luminous Lagoon experience. Do you know what the Luminous Lagoon is, Jason?
I haven't seen one yet, no, but I'm kind of vaguely familiar. Go on, tell us.
So the Luminous Lagoon is the experience where there are only one of 4 experiences like this in the whole entire world, where there is a lagoon that, because of the dinoflagellite that's in there, it glows at night when you move in it. So they produce bioluminescence at night when they're moved around, and that's because of the salt water, the fresh water from the Martha Brae, and so it creates this wonderful bioluminescence experience that you can only experience 4 places in the world, and Jamaica is one of them. Jamaica is actually said to be one of the brightest experiences. So yeah, come down, experience that. You move into Montego Bay, and then from Montego Bay, you can jet off to the Negril, which is Beachcomber's paradise, and to the south coast where you do the Appleton rum experience, which I think I've done rum tours all over. I don't even drink. But let me tell you, this Appleton rum tour is off the chain. It is off the chain, one of the best experiences you'll ever have, because it's such a well-crafted experience. Even for somebody who is not a rum aficionado, it is such a wonderful experience to learn about how rum is crafted and the science and the artistry behind rum making. So it's a great experience, and it's a great experience to see what another side of Jamaica looks like, because the topography down on the south coast is very different. In Appleton, where the Appleton Rum Estate, it's located in an area has what's called karst scenery, which if you take like your eggshell, your egg carton, and you turn it upside down, and you see all those little mountains that it creates. That's what the mountains look like, or the hills and mountains look like on that side, because of the limestone feature, which is what makes the rum so special, because the water is filtered through those limestones. And anyway, that's all beautiful drama, which I might be going on, whatever. But yes, those are some of the experiences. So I would try to get you to see all those different sides of Jamaica, because on the south coast you have black sand beaches as well, so you get to see that and you get to experience the culture there. Negril has your powdery white sand experience with the rich blue waters that never get past your rib cage. And then in Montego Bay is like a little bit of a mix of everything. Lovely airport experience, and just stone throw away from everything else. And then Ocho Rios, that has just a lot of activities for everybody to experience. So that would be the 7 days. I would have to do 2 days in each of them to kind of get everything. Yeah.
Well, that's a lot to be working with. Yeah, I appreciate that. That's awesome. So there's a lot of different resorts kind of across the island. So tell us some of the different types of resorts that people can stay in. You've obviously got boutique and you've got other ones. So how do people find the right resort, really, and what different types are out there?
So I would say it depends. I would say how I classify the resorts are based on your travel partner. So we have couples only resorts, or resorts that are focused on couples. So one being Sandals resorts, and also couples resorts. It's actually named couples resorts. Those resorts, if you are not comfortable sharing the bed with somebody else or seeing them exposed, these are probably not the resorts for you. They're definitely for two people in love, for those people who are wanting that romantic, intimate connection. These are definitely resorts for you. If you're an adult traveling, whether it's just as a couple or with other friends that may be single, we have adult-only resorts that are options. You have everything from Secrets to Breathless as options for you. Then you can move into your family-focused resorts, such as beaches resorts, which are great for, and I particularly like to talk about beaches because beaches accepts every single child, regardless, or even into their kids camp programs, regardless of whether or not they're potty trained or not. So if those babies are fresh out the womb and you already had a vacation planned, because you are a planner and you planned this 2 years ago, but this baby just arrived, this resort will help you to keep those plans intact. So you have beaches, you have the Grand Palladium, and you have different price points in each of these categories as well. And then you have the Rio resorts, which I also think are great for your families, but also great for your adults traveling. So you have lots of different options. You have your mixed generation resorts. Those resorts are particularly important because, say, for example, you're traveling with your family, Jason, and you have kids. And I'm traveling with but we are friends, and I'm traveling, but I don't have kids, and I don't necessarily want to see kids all the time on my vacation. There are resorts like Princess that have 2 resorts side by side, that one section is adult only, so I can be there on that section, and then at certain points in the vacation I can come over to the family friendly side and see you and your family as well. So those are what we call our mixed generation resorts. So there are lots of options for your stay in lots of different price points as well.
Yeah, excellent. It's a good rundown there. So kind of sustainability and responsible tourism is really big on the agenda now. We're kind of sweeping across Europe an awful lot at the moment. Kind of what is Jamaica doing to really help its sustainability? And do you have pockets that are kind of over affected by tourism currently? Or is that not an issue for you guys? And kind of how does kind of Jamaica view sustainability long term?
So I will say, so the over-tourism issue, like is experienced in Barcelona, etc. We're not there yet. We're not there, and we're doing our best to manage so not to have situations like that. But tourism is one of the lifebloods in Jamaica. It's our beaches, or culture, or history, or people are what brings people into the destination on a regular basis. So there's a lot that goes into managing those experiences from a sustainability aspect as well. From our beaches, a lot of different resorts have different projects. Some have fish sanctuary projects, so those are no fishing zones, and or minimal activity zones that you're able to that give the ocean time to bounce back, and supply the livelihood of those using those areas or that are based in those areas. There are other projects such as coral restoration projects that if you're a scuba diver and you're vacationing in Jamaica, you can participate in that. A fam group that I took down a couple weeks ago, we did a experience with them at Star, where they weren't scuba divers, they were only snorkelers, but we had them help us with our coral restoration nursery. So, which is where we get coral that has survived coral bleaching effects. And I'm not sure if everybody knows what coral bleaching is, but that's when the corals die. So we take them and we break them into smaller pieces, and we propagate them in a little nursery off the coast of a particular hotel. So, for example, we're doing that at Star. Sandals has their own, Sandals and Beaches has their own project as well that they look at. So there are projects like that are happening that people can get involved in if they are environmentally conscious like that. Jamaica as a whole, as an actual island destination. So if you live in Jamaica, single-use plastics are not a thing. So you can't go to the supermarket and get a plastic bag. You need to go with your shopping bag because single-use plastics are no longer available in Jamaica. So straws and that sort of things, they are slowly being eliminated in the general lifestyle. Sustainability even goes as far as to health and wellness, where yes, I spoke about weed being decriminalized in Jamaica, but there is a ban on smoking in public areas in Jamaica. So you can't smoke no matter what you're smoking. You can't smoke it within 15 feet of any building. So whether it be a bus stop, which is only 3 sides, and a building is considered anything with 3 sides, 2 sides, and a roof. You can't smoke in those areas. So public health and those sustainability concerns are intertwined into that. And we can get political and talk about different things like, how even sustainability factors are incorporated into imports. So like you can't import something that is locally produced in Jamaica. Okay. So you have to think about it from its macro perspective down to its micro perspective, which affects the entire situation and then pouring itself into tourism accordingly.
Yeah. Okay. Are there any exciting developments? You've touched on one about the coral stuff you're doing currently, but any exciting developments or investments kind of in the pipeline that are happening across Jamaica that people are going to be interested in?
If you're looking for new resorts and new developments, there are lots of them that are coming on stream. For example, one of the newest ones that I like to talk about most is Unico. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the Unico brand that's in Mexico as well. That is coming to Jamaica. We'll have one in Montego Bay. It's called Unico 1877, which is our degrees of latitude on the map. There's Moon Palace in Montego Bay. So if you're familiar with the Moon Palace brand, it's a great option for families in the Ocho-Rios area as well. That one is also coming to the Montego Bay area. If you're a gambler, and you like to roll the dice, there is Jamaica's first resort casino that will be opening at Princess Resorts later this year. So fingers crossed. So if you're into gambling, that's going to be an option for you. And most importantly, because accessibility is something that's very important to the destination, coming January, Virgin Atlantic will fly daily service from London Heathrow into into Montego Bay. So right now it's only 4 times a week, but coming January through to March, you'll have daily service. And there's lots of connectivity going into Jamaica. You have service from Gatwick, you have service from Manchester, you have service from Birmingham, and you also have service from Heathrow. So 4 airports, lots of service into Jamaica. So you have lots of options in terms of connectivity into the island.
That was going to be my very next question. You just rolled onto it very, very nicely. Yeah.
I'm glad we're on the same path telepathically. I'm glad we're on the same path.
Yeah. So yes. Sorry, go on.
I'll just finish it for you. So there's a lot of service going in connectivity wise. You have service on Virgin Atlantic. You have service on BA. So if you're flying with Red, you can stay with Red. If you're flying with Blue, you have the option of Blue on BA. So you have a lot of seats on either of those airlines that you can get to Jamaica. The Virgin service I particularly like to talk about because I think it offers a very unique advantage that the other two don't offer, which is because the Virgin flight leaves at about 3:30 from London Heathrow. So for people like me who are not morning people, we don't do mornings, it's a great flight. But not only is it a great flight because it leaves a little bit later, it allows for connectivity for people coming in from Europe or people coming in from Scotland, people who might be coming in from Wales. You know what? Have a little bit of a journey to get into London. Instead of overnighting, you can just wake up a little bit earlier that morning and come down same day. So that 3:30 departure works out very well for a lot of people who are not based within the immediate environs of London, so to speak. But beyond that, the flight lands at 7:30 p.m., which means it turns around by 9:30 p.m. So do you know what that means in the long run? Jason, that means that you can spend the entire day on the beach until about 5 p.m. before having to go to the airport that evening. So that time that you thought you may have lost because the flight doesn't getting on till late, you gain it back plus tax on the departure. So I highly encourage people to weigh their options when they're choosing their service. I don't care how you get to Jamaica. I just want you to get to Jamaica, and we've provided lots of options for you.
Perfect. So Jamaica has a rich history and vibrant community. And kind of how can visitors respectfully engage with the local communities and all that heritage?
So as we had mentioned before, there's the Rastafarian village that you can go and experience what that is like, where you can learn about why people wear locks and what is ITEL cuisine and the importance of living a pure lifestyle through the Rastafarian lens. So that's an experience that you can interact truly with Jamaican culture right there. There are other experiences that are a little bit more tailored towards tourism experiences or touristic experiences, but still give you a raw insight into Jamaican culture. For example, the Jamaica One Love bus crawl in Negril, for the hotels in the Negril area. This is a bus crawl that it picks you up at the resort and it takes you to the local bars within the Negril West End. So no Margaritaville, no anything like that. These are like the community bars that you are going to, where people go after work to drink. You know, that sort of experience. I would definitely encourage people to do that experience. It's actually free. They only ask that you tip the driver and the host, and you can do that at your discretion. But yeah, it's one of the #1 tours on TripAdvisor in Negril for people to try and experience, and it is a raw, real experience into what it is like within Jamaican communities. There is the Reading Road trip, is hosted by our friends at Sandals as well, or friends at Sandals and Beaches. The Reading Road Trip, I think, is a great example of how to get into education, which is the backbone of any society. Education and farming, those are the two backbones of any society. And the Reading Road Trip is a great avenue to give back. And it's also a great avenue to experience culture on a personal level that is not curated or manicured. A lot of times we think that hotel service might be curated or manicured to a point, but if you're out there in the wild with kids, and kids have no filter.
Yeah.
If you're out there interacting with them with that type of experience, it definitely gives you another insight and another perspective of how to experience the destination in a holistic, true, natural, and when I say natural, I mean it's organic, how that experience unfolds once you're participating, reading with kids and that sort of thing. So yeah, definitely experiences that I recommend to get into the culture. If you're in Montego Bay on a Friday night, you should definitely visit Pier 1. That will give you a good experience into what Jamaica's music and dance culture is like, because Pier 1 is actually a restaurant by day and a restaurant by day and boatyard by morning. But at night on a Friday, it is definitely an experience to go and see Jamaican dancers and just the regular crowd outside experiencing what's the party is called Peer Pressure. It's a great open air experience on a Friday night.
Yeah. Sean, you have really brought this alive today. I've absolutely loved this one today. It's been fantastic. It has. You really got into it. So, so for anybody who's now really dreaming of visiting Jamaica, they've been thinking about it for a while, but now they know they absolutely have to go and visit. Kind of what's your next steps and how should they go about organising that?
Well, the first step I would always say is to come and talk to people like you. Find your trusted travel advisors. They know what they're talking about, and when they don't know what they're talking about, they have people like me who are resource centers for them as well to help you curate those itineraries. So definitely you want to reach out to Jason, talk to him about what resort you want to stay at, talk to him about what experiences you want to have. But I always say anchor your trip in what experience you're looking to have. So know what you want to do, what you want to experience, what is important to you. Give those facts to Jason. And then from that, we will decide what resort is best for you. And then what experiences help to bring that dream alive for you. And so come with an open attitude. Come, and our new tagline says, "Come see for yourself." And that's exactly what I want people to do. Come to Jamaica and see it for yourself. What is it? How do I say it? One of the underrated facts that I talk about for Jamaica is the fact that many of our resorts and the island itself experiences a high repeat factor. So if you go to resorts like Sandals and Couples, you'll find that about 40% of the people in-house are returning guests. So Jamaica also benefits from that. A lot of people come back to Jamaica year and year again. So come and find out for yourself why Jamaica is such an inviting and interesting destination that will keep you coming back time and time again. So definitely reach out to your agents, and talk to them about how you want to experience the destination, and they will help you to craft the experience that is best so that you see as much, experience as much, feel as much, and enjoy.
Yeah, something you said there about people just coming with an open mind, and that's one of the favourite parts I have about doing this job. There'll be some people who say, "I want to have this, I want to have that." It's fine, they're absolutely going to have it, but then every now and again, you'll get people come along, they don't know what they want, they're completely open-minded, and we start experience-based, exactly as you've said. And they're fantastic to put together, and the people will always have an amazing time because they're open-minded about it. They don't mind where they go or what they do. And you have the opportunity to craft something for them, to put it together for them, add in a few things they weren't expecting. And it really, really brings it, just kind of completely changes the trip really, and really brings it to life for him. So yeah, that's something that I love doing, kind of from a travel agent perspective.
Correct. And so here's another tip. So if you are not sure of what you want to do or how you want to experience the island, I think Montego Bay is going to be a great launching pad for you. And that's probably the word I should have used a little earlier, because from Montego Bay, everything is most things are about 90 minutes away. And so you can do a day trip to Ocho Rios, a day trip to Negril, or a day trip to the South Coast. So you kind of almost treat Montego Bay like a cruise. This is what I'm staying put here, but I want to experience these other regions so I know which one is the best one for me later. So yes, I would say Montego Bay is a great option for those who are not sure what they want to do. Another resort, and a shout out to my friend Neil at Sandals. Sandals Ochi is one of those great resorts as well that caters to somebody who is not sure how they want to experience Jamaica, because it's such a big resort. It allows you to have a little bit of everything all in one place. So yes, those are options for you. Or what you could do, last thing, oh my gosh, I know I keep going on.
Keep going.
One of the cool things I also encourage, and particularly with agents like yourself, that independent agents like yourself have the autonomy to execute these types of vacations, is to do what's called a split stay. So you may do something like you spend. The average UK traveler is going for 10 days. Ain't nobody going for 7 days. It's too far. It's 9 hours on a plane. 9 hours on a plane. Day 7, I'm itching to go home, but not just yet, because if I go home, I'll be like, it's too early. But at 10 days is just like the right amount. Yeah. You can do 5 nights, right? And you can do 5 nights at an all-inclusive in one region, and then you could do 5 nights or 3 nights, however you want to split it up, at an EP resort that is a little bit different. So resorts like Rock House. I'm saying you could do 5 nights at like an all-inclusive of your preference, and then you can move over to a more boutique and unique experience at a resort that is not necessarily all-inclusive, that will allow you the chance to go and explore a lot more freely. Because some people have the misconception that all-inclusives lock you in, and they don't. Definitely not in Jamaica. But you do kind of feel like, I don't need to go anywhere right now. So if you want, you can either do it where you do the all-inclusive first or the all-inclusive last, but then go to the EP resorts and go and explore, get off property, go to some of the restaurant choices that we've recommended, your scotches, your juicy patties, and I am personally biased to juicy patties, so I'm only talking about juicy patties. Your stush in the bush experience, you do those at your EP resorts, because then you don't have to feel like I've already paid for dinner and now I'm having dinner off property. So go and experience resorts like Rock House that are very culturally in tune. And not only they're being culturally in tune, they're unique experiences because they're not on the beach. Rock House is actually on the Negril West End Cliffs. So it's Jamaica's most westerly point. And what happens in the west? The sun sets in the west. So you also have great sunset views. Or go and experience resorts like Jake's. Or if you're like into peace and quiet, old world charm and luxury, my personal favorite in the Ocho Rios area is Jamaica Inn, Cottage 7. Shout out to Jamaica Inn, Cottage 7. Which that resort has a champagne colored sand beach, and it's a private cove. But most importantly for me at that resort is that resort has it has a unique feature where it has a Black Labrador on resort. They only have one, but it's so for people who love dogs, it's great because you get to see a dog on vacation. It's like the resident dog in a house. And another cool thing about that resort is because that beach that it sits on is it's private, but that beach, because of sustainability practices, turtles still nest there. So you have sea turtles that nest there. So depending on the time of year that you stay, you may be able to see a turtle hatching, and that's available on their website. So you can plan your vacation around a turtle hatching experience.
I kind of feel like we could talk all day long, to be honest, because they keep on coming out more and more. This island, you keep on exploring more and just teasing little bits out all the time. So, yeah, I really can't wait to get over there and go and see it all. And we kind of spoke about that.
The goal is to get people to come to see, experience the vibe, the beaches, the food, the people. And I really drive home the point that the people are what truly make Jamaica an unforgettable experience, because you could have good food with not just terrible service, but just terrible human interaction, and that spoils the entire experience. So I like to drive home the fact that Jamaica is anchored not just by its beach and all the sustainability practices or the activities that are available, but it's anchored by the rich history that is embodied into the cultural practices of everyday life through people that make Jamaica such a magnificent and wonderful destination.
Sean, that's awesome. And it feels like a kind of a good place to wrap it up there, actually. You've taken us on a massive, big deep dive. And we've gone through lots of different places, and I could stay here for an awful lot longer talking to you. But for anybody who is now, like me, really wants to get over to Jamaica and just can't wait to go and experience it all, and absolutely get in touch with us. We have all the best contacts to be able to make your perfect trip and create it exactly the way that you want it, which is what we absolutely love to do here. And if you've liked what you've heard on the podcast, then absolutely like and subscribe and share it. If you've got any comments, anything you want to see us cover off in future series, then absolutely put a comment on the podcast or drop us a message. My details are all over the interweb. You can find us anywhere. Get in contact, and we'd love to cover the types of topics I want to see. So Sean, I'd like to say a massive thank you. Thank you very, very much for your time today. You've been really, really enlightening and given everybody a real strong flavour of the Caribbean. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you so much for having me today. It's absolutely a pleasure to share with you guys and to make sure that everybody gets a chance to come and experience Jamaica. So, as I say, come see for yourself.
We absolutely will do. Okay, cheers.
All right. Cheers, man. Have a good one.
Thanks for listening along, guys. That is the end of part 2 of our Jamaica series. Next up is going to be Grenada, so make sure you stay tuned, subscribe and follow for more.